sir, what is going on YouTube? It is your boy Denali, aka Don Squally, and we are back at it playing some Forza Horizon 4, man. Getting back into those YouTuber request builds for today's video, man. Been seeing quite a few pop up on the channel, and to be honest, just the random builds that I do don't really get half as much interest as the YouTuber builds do. So for today's video, man, we are taking it back. We are taking a YouTuber's build to do on today's video. Now, I did have one already selected, but unfortunately the car is not available yet. I'm not even gonna say whose car that is because I don't want to get any hopes up just yet. Don't exactly know when that car is gonna be out, but today's request is coming from FD Fan on YouTube, and he wants to see that Street Speed 717 McLaren 720S. Now, if you haven't been following Mike, Street Speed 717 on YouTube, man, definitely check him out. Just picked up that brand new McLaren 720. I think he had the 590 before, if I'm not mistaken. So big shout outs to him, man, doing big things. You know, check out his channel, but for those of you guys who are here because of the name, chances are you guys have probably already checked out his channel. So what we need to do for today's video is go ahead and buy that 720S. Now, as you can see, this one right here, 2018 McLaren. Also have the 650. Sorry, that's the 570, not the 590. That is the car right there that Mike did own previous to his brand new McLaren. But what I think we're going to do for today's video is go ahead and buy this 720S and see if we can go ahead and make this build as close to Mike's as possible. Now, obviously, you guys know Mike had that beautiful, beautiful sunset orange, I believe it was called. Just a great color. We're going to start out with that color since that lime green is not available from the manufacturer colors. Now, this car is absolutely magnificent. I mean, that 570, that thing in itself, you know, in itself was an absolute beast. You guys know that thing was tuned, did a lot of street racing on that thing. But for today's video, we are going to be dealing with the 720S, which from what I have seen on the channel is pretty much stock, man. So we're just gonna do a couple modifications, try to make this thing look the part, and see if we can get it as close to Mike's as possible. Now, obviously, he's not rocking any type of front splitter or canards, so we're gonna go ahead and pass on those. And that rear wing, if I'm not mistaken on this thing, actually raises and lowers as the car's going faster, so we are not going to be adding that Forza big old wang there. One thing that I do want to do, however, is try to upgrade the tires. Now, it looks like we, you know, McLaren obviously has to add a half-decent set of tires on this thing from the factory. So they already have race tires on there. The only other option would be obviously the Horizon tire compound, but Mike does not have the tire letters on his car, so we're going to pass on those. Now what I'm thinking we're going to do is check out the wheels. Now, by the look of it, these are aftermarket wheels, so I'm just going to go ahead, skim through a couple of the different options here until I find something that I think suits what Mike has on his car. Now, a lot of nice looking options, but I think I'm going to have to go with these HRE P104s. The shape of them isn't exactly perfect, but I think once we paint them gold, it is going to be close enough. Wheel diameter, we're going to go ahead and leave the way that it is. And just for some stance, I know Mike probably stuck with the stock offset. You know what? I'm going to leave that offset the way that it is for the time being. Now, clutch, obviously this thing in automatic, so nothing needs to get upgraded there. Transmission, differential, I'm going to leave everything pretty much stock the way that it is. I have 100% faith in McLaren that they have made more than a capable vehicle. One thing that we are going to do, obviously, is just drop it on some race springs and dampers. Nothing too crazy, just a nice subtle drop. And of course, Mike's car 100% stock as of the making of this video. Now, you guys know Street Speed 717, man. He moves fast, so I have a funny feeling that there's going to be some pretty amazing things to be done to this car. But for the time being, we're going to go ahead and set this car up as is. Nice and simple, mostly just messing with the wheels. Now, obviously, for the tunes, nothing really much here to tune. gearing and everything the way that it would be from factory. Springs, we could lower it a little bit more, but I think I'm going to go ahead and leave this at the ride height that it is. Now, next up, we are going to jump into the designs and paints, and obviously this is really where everything is going to come together. We need to paint this car, and we need to paint it right away. Now, like I say, you guys know Mike did have this beautiful orange color on his original McLaren, but the new color for his new McLaren is obviously that lime green. So we're going to have to go ahead, add up that lime green paint. I'm going to just find one that I like here that I think suits the car. Now, the unfortunate thing that it looks like here is we actually don't get to get those black accents. So unfortunately, I think that's something that I'm going to have to do on my own. So we're going to go ahead, select our nice lime green paint scheme right here. Obviously, before we get into applying our decals, we are in fact going to have to come in and select our nice subtle gold color here. I think that's going to be nice right there. Of course, save this to the current car. And last but not least, I'm just going to jump into the decal section real quick, add in all of the black areas that we need, black roof, little black accents on the front bumper. And now that we got that out of the way, we are ready to hit the road and see what this thing is all about. And the fact of the matter is, this has probably got to be one of the fastest cars that I've owned in Forza Horizon 4 at this point. Definitely the most expensive car that I have purchased. You guys know I've been doing my best to grind and make as much money as I possibly can in order to do these kinds of builds. When you guys request the expensive, mucho more expensive cars, man, I can deliver. So now that we got this thing out on the road, let's see what it's all about. That paint job, just a beautiful paint scheme there. Love the green on gold, just a beautiful color combo. Let's do a little launch, shall we? Now, this vehicle, extremely expensive, but I mean, the engineering is just there. Those of you guys who've been watching Mike's videos know that he's, you know, a big Corvette guy. Big GM guy, has the big diesel 2500 Chevy, and you know, with him coming in and buying the McLaren, I was a little bit skeptical. I was like, man, why isn't this guy buying like the newest, best Corvette? And it wasn't until he raced his Corvette, which at the time I think was the twin turbo one that he had, and I gotta say, the McLaren just absolutely demolished it, mopped the floor with it. It's just the way that the power is delivered in this car. It's just on a whole nother level. And the handling is absolutely magnificent. I can't lie about that. With it being rear wheel drive, you'd think that the back end would get a little more squirrely and it would kick out a little more, but in all reality, this thing actually grips exceptionally well. Keep in mind, we do have the stock tire compound, which I'm going to assume is a race tire compound because that option was not available. But this is also the stock tire width. So, I mean, for this thing to grip as well as it does and it not even be at its, you know, the top of its capabilities, I think definitely says a lot about the engineering. Now, oftentimes we start building cars in this game where the power is just way too much for the brakes, way too much for the tire, and the thing just does not handle worth of crap. This is not the case, man. This thing handles exceptionally well. To be honest, I was thinking this thing would be a little too fast, but truth be told, this thing could take a whole lot of modifications in this game and still be a extremely fast car. But with that being said, I mean, I'm gonna have to take this out and win a couple of races with it to really be certain. But just from test driving, we're on a nice open road, a little bit of nice curves here. Paying attention to the map and not the road. That was a poor example, ladies and gentlemen, but I was just going to say this thing is an absolute slice to drive. Just a real treat, as the dads would say, I guess. Not really a dad joke, I guess. It's just more of a phrase, I suppose. But nonetheless, man, Street Speed 717 Mike, I am super jealous of you. Just this car is an absolute gem, man. But what I think we're gonna do right around this time, as we often do, is take this into a more populated area, and I did buy the house where we can fast travel to any road. So that is going to make this process for me, the process of finding a spot to take my thumbnail, much easier. Obviously, it's going to save me quite a bit of driving. But I'm thinking we need to find a nice little background. Wish it was a little bit lighter. Wish we were able to fast travel to a place with a little bit more light. But I think what we're going to do is just pull off here. See if we can get those city lights in the background here. That building there I was hoping to get, but it doesn't look like we can. So we're just gonna pull off, and I might do something with the thumbnail if I can. Maybe fast travel to a place with a little bit more light. But with that being said, I'm thinking we are probably gonna put an end to this one. If you guys did enjoy this one, don't forget to smash that like button. If you guys want to see more and you are not subscribed yet, definitely do so. A lot more where this came from, and I'm thinking that's going to be it for today's video. So as always, I am your boy, D Nolly, a.k.a. Don Squally. And we're going to catch y'all mofos at the next one, man. Peace! Recovery of a lifetime. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Yeah, just keep on rolling there. Yeah. Don't worry about the racer or anything.